All right, y'all. So even though, according to Keke Palmer, her team pulled the interview, the podcast episode that she had with Jonathan Majors, because she said, they said people felt it was insensitive. So we didn't end up seeing it, even though it was this big announcement that she ended up interviewing him. But she came on here, she was just like, well, she defended her decision, even though they pulled the podcast episode. She was just like, I'm not here to be biased. And what else did she say? That she's not here to judge nobody. And I'm like, okay, girl. You so lonely, insecure, they don't control me, boy, you can't control me, troll me. I wasted my time and time is money, bitch.
Way back in 2018, I put out the first book in my Xeraxia series called Xeraxia, Wrath of the God King. Now I'm so excited to let you all know that the sequel to that book, Xeraxia, The Vengeance of Coldwind, is out now. Anywhere you get your ebooks and audiobooks, you can find it there. I'm talking about Amazon, Audible, audiobooks.com, Google Play. Like, it's all there. Also, you can go to www.xeraxia.com to purchase it directly from my site. Check out my series, check out the first book, and make sure you get the second book because it's out now. I'm so excited. So y'all know what I'm going to say as usual. The link to the article we're going to go through is in my description. It's coming from Variety, so check it out if you want to see the article in full. But here we go. Keke Palmer recently appeared on The Breakfast Club and explained why her podcast interview with Jonathan Majors was pulled before its online release. Majors was set to appear on an April episode of Baby, This is Keke Palmer during his press tour for magazine Dreams. The episode never dropped, thank goodness. Thank goodness! The episode never dropped, and Palmer put out an interview with rapper Cash Doll in its place, resulting in a lot of questions from fans. And so we could start out right here, because she says, obviously, Megan Good is my girl. I've grown up loving her. She's honestly a mentor to me and a representation for all of us young Black women. I mean, I was happy for her to get married. I was excited to have the conversation. And so, like I said, we already starting off on the wrong foot, because, like, if Megan is your girl, like, you care about her so much, you wouldn't want to put her in the lion's den, girl. Like, you wouldn't want to put her in the shark's mouth. Like, you just simply would not. Like, if this person is really your girl, you wouldn't be over here excited. Like, oh yeah, you married someone violent? Like, girl, what? Are you serious? So that already, I'm like, someone can't be your sister, your good sister. And if that's how you treat your good sister, I don't want to be sisters with you, girl. I'm happy for my girl. What are you talking about? You didn't pull her to the side and say you look a little delusional, sis? No, because I mean, it's it's birds of a feather. And they really are flocking together. They are flocking together. I'm here to be unbiased. That's what Palmer said. She said, you don't agree with everything they did. You don't love everything, but you got to have the conversation. You have to set the stage for them to speak and for people to watch and take what they want to take from it. So that's why I was open and excited to do the interview. And to me, like I said, this is so backwards to me, because we know that we live in a world where victims will come out and they'll tell their entire story, and everybody will be obsessed with interviewing the abuser. Everybody will be obsessed with trying to, especially that abuser, a man, they will be obsessed with trying to rehabilitate his image. And it's just like, if you were so pressed to do an interview, why y'all don't ever call up the victims? Why don't y'all ever call up the victims? Y'all talking about, oh, I don't want to be biased. If you are so obsessed with doing an interview about the situation, why are the victims never called up? It's always y'all trying to shove redemption down somebody's throat who didn't even express no kind of remorse. It's a man, always a man. And I'm like, for us to have seen all these things go down where these men are serial abusers and they get away with it and they're selling out stadiums and you know what I mean? For all that we see, you acting like this man is struggling to get a platform. People were dragging him when he came out there with them I don't know, crossed legs and pink shirt and pursed lips. But as soon as he violent towards a woman, all of a sudden they coming out the woodwork like they really was. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing that happened with Tory Lanez. Y'all's not bumping Tory Lanez. Y'all not bumping Tory Lanez. But as soon as he violent toward a woman, now we acting like, oh girl, he on the list of people who make a bunch of hits. It's like, girl, please stop playing with me. Please stop playing with me. As we know, Majors was convicted of assault and harassment in a 2023 domestic violence case involving ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. He was sentenced to probation and an intervention program. The release of Magazine Dreams in late March marked an acting comeback. I mean, I guess he wanted it to be. Girl, Palmer said the team behind her podcast pulled the Majors episode based off of the reaction of having Majors on as a guest, adding, people felt it was insensitive. I always want to be respectful and understand where everybody's coming from. If they're not going to feel like they're going to receive anything good from the interview, then okay, cool. But I sat down with the brother for us to talk and let him be heard. I mean, people sit down with serial killers. And then in the next sentence, she gonna say, I'm not comparing him to a serial killer. You just did. I'm not comparing him to one. At the end of the day, I felt as a journalist, you really pushing it with that. We are pushing it with the definition of that word as a journalist. No shade. I'm supposed to talk and let the public decide how they want to feel. And they decided, girl. You opened that mouth. You opened up that mouth and we decided, we made a decision on how we felt about it. But that didn't get the chance to happen. It did, honey. It did. I wish them all the best. I really want to say that because I don't judge nobody because I don't want to be judged. So at the end of the day, I'm happy for Megan. I'm happy for them. Maybe one day we'll get a chance to put the podcast interview out. I'm not sure. Don't just keep it in the drafts. We don't want to see that. And for her to say, oh, people felt it was insensitive instead of saying it absolutely wasn't sensitive is crazy. Like, I don't know why it's so hard to put yourself, especially when it's a man with money or whatever, a man with clout. He's a good black man. Like, I just don't know how it's so difficult for people to put themselves in the shoes of the victim. And like, if this man was popping across the face or doing whatever, like bending your finger back, choking you out, like if this man was doing all that stuff, and then now you got these birds around here giving him a platform to tell his side of the story. His side of the story is that he hauled off on somebody because he could. Y'all make these things so difficult. He hauled off on somebody because he could, he insecure, he all that type of stuff and wrapped up in a bow. And now you talking about, I just want to see the other side of the story. I just want to see why assaulters assault. They assault because they can and they think they could get away with it. Like, what are y'all talking about? Why do we need to do this in-depth interview as to why you chose somebody out? Like, girl, what do you mean? What do you mean? And so, yeah, that's part of my frustration is that knowing that these abusers, like, they street cred or whatever goes up 10 trillion points when they smack a woman, when they shoot a woman, when they abuse a woman. So knowing that they get all this kind of platform, all this kind of attention, all this kind of, especially, y'all are still selling out Chris Brown's stadium and he beating people up to this day. To this day. So knowing that these abusers will automatically get platforms anyway simply because of how this world is structured, and then y'all come out here saying, oh, well, don't we need to help the poor little man? Don't we need to help little Jonathan Majors? Let's give him a platform. He was going to get one anyway. That's why he all over my timeline. That's why his face all over that's why y'all got him in these conversations. And Grace is nowhere to be found, nowhere to be interviewed. Ain't nobody talking. Why is she not being interviewed? Like, if y'all want somebody to interview these victims. Give platforms to the victims who are so constantly, their stories, like you are doing right now, Keke, are so often diminished and devalued. And I know that you're the wrong person for this conversation because you literally went up on there. You went up on there and said, essentially defending the way that y'all be entertaining bums, no shade. You went up there on some other interview and said nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge, but frankly, I don't care. If that's who you love, that's who you love. So like you out here entertaining trolls under a bridge, spreading the non-gospel that we should be doing. It should be fine. Just date a bum, date whoever you want. It's fine. Let them mistreat you, girl. It doesn't matter. Like, girl, just because you want that in your life and you like people who treat you like a doormat, like, it does not mean that everybody else gonna do the same thing. And so, like I said, knowing that that's the way that you think, like, you already were the wrong person to be even thinking about interviews when it comes to this situation. Just absolutely a mess, and acting like, oh, well, it's just, I can't believe that people are so sensitive. People interview serial killers. Like, what? Y'all act like y'all gonna get these violent men on y'all platforms and like hold them accountable and hold them to task. When y'all are not gonna do that. Y'all gonna stroke his ego and ask him which movie's coming out that he got coming out next. Y'all gonna ask him about his career. Y'all gonna stroke that ego. So, like, acting like, oh, we really gonna hold them to task when all y'all doing is drinking their bathwater. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But yeah, y'all, that's it. On that note, thank y'all so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and make sure you have a good evening. This ain't the only worship